So I'm going to introduce Fartun as the next speaker. Like I said, I've known Fartun about, I don't even know, 8, 10 years. I remember working at Bloomington Public Health and just seeing a newspaper article about a small Somali support group for Somali women, and I just remember thinking, oh, that's nice. I didn't know, a couple years later, while at the University of Minnesota, I ended up in a meeting with her, and it's been one of the best relationships, defining relationships I've had in my life. She's been a mentor, she's been a sister, she's been a partner in disrupting systems and disrupting the status quo and making sure that all Minnesota communities thrive. So Fartun, please come up.
Let me say thank you, and thank you, and thank you. And this is about gratitude. And let me say thank you to Isuroon staff, Marissa, Christine, everyone else who's here tonight who did this job. I can come up with ideas, but I'm not an executor. I'm totally owning it. So I'm so grateful for our team, our volunteers. This gratitude came to one of my journeys. Isuroon is now 9 years old, and I remember a lot of people writing us off of saying, you know, you're nuts. You really are doing something that nobody ever have done it. What I really wanted to do was just an idea where community run its own course. A lot of creativity, a lot of mistakes have been made. But it was our own way of shoveling our way from the, to the snow to create pathways. And so many great ideas and so many things were happening. And as my one bedroom, and then again with the church, and again with the Sabbathini Community Center, moving into those pathways of trying to figure out what really Somali women needed. Guys, we love you, but they were priority number one. Sorry. But a lot of conflicts really came about, and I didn't realize how much it affected me as a human being, as women. And I grew up with a lot of boys, so I know how to take my piece out of God's mouth as well. But it was really hard. It was really hard to establish a nonprofit. I quit my job, and I said I was going to be full-time. But what was unique about was that it wasn't about me. It was about these incredible women who knew where they were going, but they needed a space and creativity, someone that just became a supporter. After 4 years of depleting my 401k and whatever saving I had, totally dead broke, one of the foundations have found me and started an Operation Grant and said, you make sure that you pay yourself. And I knew that was not going to happen. But each year, resources were coming in. And I was also very particular of the grants that we've accepted. We were saying, if a grant makes us work for the foundation or the grant manager, we don't want that money. And so that also made it really very hard to get off the ground. But I believed it, and the board had believed us, and the community had believed us that we just did not want any money. And if I just wanted to collect any money, I would have just stayed my IT job, which I made good money. As I was going through the journey, words that really were hurtful were coming out. People were putting me in these critical words. It was very difficult to deal with. Oh, Fartun, geez, God help us. Don't bring near me. She's very difficult to deal with. And I didn't realize how much it was hurtful to me, but I was telling them, I'll show you. Isuroon will never go under, but we'll also thrive, and we'll also have a creativity to really serve our community well. 2018, as Isuroon was doing well, my life kind of took a little bit of falling apart, and the word self-care, buying nice clothes, all those things I was feeling guilty. I really didn't feel I deserved it. and I found a coach. I went leadership trainings, and all of a sudden, it was so much of I needed to take care of myself. I felt I didn't deserve to take care of myself. And so working with a coach, my coach, who's a white, when I get angry, I would say, what do you know? You're a white man. You have no idea what black woman goes through. And he would just say, okay, come back to me, come back to me. He helped me really unpack so much that I was carrying on, because I had to be so strong that if someone just threw me like that, I was going to break like ice because I was so stiff. And so he asked me about gratitude, and he said, I pray 5 times a day. I firmly believe, God is the provider of my living and everything. But there was so much resentment that I was carrying in. So much of people that I was carrying so much venom that was running through my vein, because many people that I thought we had the same values and same even political arena, we were having conflict because it was about how to serve community that we were having the conflict. I thought we were partners from that. But it was, let me feed you versus, no, I can feed for myself. There's a scarcity mentality, and I'm seeing abundance. I'm seeing illiteracy, and I'm saying, which illiteracy are you talking about? Illiteracy of the compassion? Illiteracy of the books? Or illiteracy of what? Define those things for me, because all those things were making our community less and less and less. So it's a deficit-based approach. And I'm saying, oh, everyone I know, they're so smarter than me. What are you talking about? So it was just conflict that I had no clue how to address those. And so through my coach and many, many people sitting here who are believing us, I came to the conclusion that we had many, many things to really slow down. And the one wish I've asked my coach was to help me be still, just freeze a little bit. My mind is racing 20 miles ahead. By the time I come to work, I've already designed and developed and executed work. So he's helping me to slow down. He's helping me to feel gratitude. And when we put together this event, there's so much joy and so much gratitude. And so much of, for me, figuring out why people have been saying, bad things about what is it about me that is so difficult. And so what I'm going to tell you tonight is beyond gratitude, that I'm feeling so gratitude, our staff is feeling gratitude, that your money is a kosher money, because I will not allow it to come into Isuroon. You're helping us to move the journey that the community decided. Each one of you is really funding a piece of the puzzle that the community wants. And so I feel humble, and I feel your trust making us work harder. But also I feel like that because of your resources, for example, one of the foundations had forced me to make a paycheck for myself. And they say you have to get a paycheck in order for Isuroon to survive. And that is a United Way Foundation. Their money for the last 3 years have been funding my paycheck. But now we have money. I'm good. We're good. But and I can talk all of the foundations, the incredible work and the trust. So your logos and your funding are a badge of honor for me and our team and our community. So you can give a round of applause yourself. As of my journey of healing from whatever trauma and the bad words that people say, the most painful words that I'm dealing with is the message that my community members bring in from people who that cannot say to me or to my face, very hurtful, it's difficult to deal with, she's really aggressive, she's rude, she's this and that. And I'm going to conclude 2 instances of money that we returned. 2016, we got $300,000 federal grant. And that was the first money Isuroon brought in. We partnered with organizations. The idea was ours, but the $1 million was awarded. Isuroon was given $300,000. By the time the third month of the grant, we realized that these organizations just gave us this grant just to use idea mining. All they wanted was to get some stuff from us. It was the hardest decision I had to make that we return that money into the federal. We said no. One of my grant writers quit on me when we returned that money. But I knew that money was not really a good money. It was $300,000. Who returns that? But a week later, we got a $180,000 grant from within the same an ORR times 3 years. So we had almost $560,000 after we returned that. Another grant that we also returned was from one of the institutions that we don't care much each about. They refused to give us $240,000, but then one of their directors came and said, here's $70,000. And I said, but what about the $240,000? What is your answer for not giving to us? And he said, forget about that, here's $70,000. I said, shove it. That was the bad word, but that's the word I used. That was then, now I'm not gonna use that word anymore. But there's so much history in this organization, and there's so much goodness going on. With the foundations, with the friends of here, please add the resources you're giving to communities of color and women, money for leadership, money for self-care. And really ask, how are you? How are you feeling? Words hurt, but the resentment and the venom that goes through our bloodstream is so hard and so hurtful. And I will conclude that Dr. Wayne Dyer says that when a snake bites you, you don't die from the snake bite, you die from the venom. And he says you have to leave resentment out of your blood, or that kills you. What I'm doing, and I'm going to encourage all of you, is that you try to leave resentments behind, you try to forgive, and you try to support one another. And then I'm going to introduce the woman of the hour, my friend, the hero of one of the heroes I have in my life. She's so busy, but a lot of people think supporting the communities of color is a burden. Oh my God, I have to take them in the hand and take them to everywhere. That's not true. It's sometimes you utilize your relationship just making a call or doing an introduction. One of the busiest women I know, but she's always available. Thank you, Tanisha, for plugging us in.